When the night is over, my life is over, 'cause I start thinking again about our time together. When the night is over, my life is over, 'cause I start thinking again about our time together. When the night is over, my life is over, 'cause I start thinking again about our time together. When the night is over, my life is over, 'cause I start thinking again about our time together.
It wouldn't be a show without World Cup predictions, so when the time comes, we can remind everybody of what we got right and completely ignore what we got wrong. Here are some predictions, Grant, including the Golden Boot winner, a surprise team, a team that won't live up to expectations, and of course, a country that will lift the trophy when it's all said and done.
Okay, so my Golden Boot winner is Thomas Müller of Germany.
Okay.
Already scored 10 goals in 2 World Cups. He's just 28 years old. He knows how to do this in his 70s. And I think he's going to go on a deep run with Germany. But I also think they're going to lose in the semis to Spain, and that will send them to the 3rd place game where goals rain from the sky, and you can actually add to Golden Boot totals like Thomas Müller can. In terms of other things, I look at Spain as my team to win this tournament.
left at 4 wickets inside 2.5 overs. So it means that England have...
Latest on the US Open Golf Talk Sport.
So if you want something to hold on to, gotta find it first. But here I am, 'cause I've been laying under palm trees, waiting for the summer, knowing there's nowhere to go. 'Cause I am happy on this island, wanna be my funland. I don't ever want to leave, I'm in a tropic club.
You're going to want to go to the advanced settings. You have a tab right here, users can view ratings. I can't believe the night lay waste to all we'd given, but honestly, you've gotta know that this ain't living, but we could run from Elysium and let it burn, let it burn. You've gotta know that nothing lasts forever. I can't believe myself. I never thought that this would be our end.
but it's nothing new. And my lover's honesty, I can push it back down if I have to, if you want me to, 'cause we can run, and we can stars that fall all for you. So tell me now, what's left to lose if we run?
Minutes for Denmark.
Up here, we're free, bound only by frozen memories, lost in time, racing all these broken dreams tonight, and we'll fly.
Like the attention, girl, I know you. But you're everything I want in life. We're fighting danger like kung fu. The love I feel is deep inside. The others don't matter. It's honestly us against the world. We're the perfect team. You're my dream, and I just want it. Can't get to myself. Can't get to myself. Can't get to myself. To myself. Can't get to myself. Can't get to myself. Can't get to myself. To myself. Can't get to myself. Can't get to myself. To myself. Can't get to myself. Can't get to myself. Can't get to myself. Oh baby, if you ever need a helper, hey, you should know that I'll be there day and night. Nobody else can love you better. I'm here just to treat you right. You're the reason I'm alive. You're the only pain I can endure. And when you're not here, you're my dream, but I just want it. Yeah, I just wanna. You're my dream, but I just want it. Can't get to myself. Can't get to myself. Can't get to myself. To myself. Can't get to myself. Can't get to myself. Can't get to myself. To myself. Can't get to myself. Can't get to myself. To myself. Can't get to myself. Can't get to myself. Can't get to myself. But I just want it. Deep inside, I knew from the start, you my bunny, I'm your Clark. From now to eternity, I give you all my heart. We are meant to be, it's clear to see. My love is bigger than I thought. I got everything I want when I hold you with with my own. Yeah, this don't matter, my love and my pleasure, the key to my treasure, whatever's the weather. Day up and now, with you till I die. How many times for you I'ma try? Want you to notice the one and I know this perfect soulmate. I wanna show it my best friend. She's saving my life, my happy end in hard times.
The prodigal son. We're sorry, this commentary is not available in your country. Please visit Talks.
Perhaps hasn't found exactly the system that works best for them. That's why they can switch. They'll start with a 4. I can see them going to a 3, depending on how the game pans out. For Croatia, it will be about possession. With the quality and technicians that they have in that midfield area, they'll be looking to probe, to keep possession, to dictate the tempo of the game, try to take one of what is Nigeria's assets, that fast counter-attack, out of their situation in terms of how they will try to be a threat against Croatia.
Very colourful scene around this lovely stadium. Now that new kit of Nigeria's, which proved such a success, it actually sold out on the day it was released. They've taken 3 million pre-orders, and most of the fans inside that stadium, this stadium now, seem to have been amongst those who ordered it in advance. The fans, as we mentioned earlier, told that they couldn't bring their lucky live chickens to the stadium. However, not so lucky for the chickens. They usually paint them green and white in the Nigerian colours, so they'll be relieved they have a night off as the game gets underway, with Nigeria in that all-green strip and Croatia in that famous red and white strip. Looks a little bit like the tablecloths off your local Italian restaurant. Not the nicest playing strip I've ever seen, and not the best start for Liverpool's Lovren, who's committed the first foul of the game. The free kick awarded by the Brazilian referee, Sandro Ricci.
He's come crashing into the back of Igalo. It's a diagonal ball hit towards that rear guard, the Croatian defence. Lovren just comes thumping into the back of him, gives certainly Nigeria an opportunity to deliver into the danger area. Victor Moses on it.
About 20 yards outside the Croatian penalty area. It's easily cleared in the end by the Croatian defence, and they pick up the pace with Ivan Strinic, the left back, who plays for Sampdoria, also played for Napoli in Italy. That's the quality of the club sides, as I was mentioning in the team news earlier, that most players out there are used to you know, adorning, if you like, week in, week out. We've got some really good players on both these sides. Vida, the central defender. Choluka, the former Spurs man, has been injured. He's been out for a long time. That's why Vida takes his place in the middle of defence. He's normally a right back. Strajko is the man who plays at right back for Croatia, who have possession now in the middle third of the field, and this is the kind of passing rhythm that we would expect to see from them tonight, just keeping the ball until the final pass goes straight through to the back four of Nigeria and back to the young goalkeeper, the 19-year-old Uzohu. He kicks it first time, and it lands in that midfield zone again, picked up by Croatia, but the flag has gone up for an offside on that far side of the field. The man caught out, Kramaric, the former Leicester City man, who moved to Hoffenheim in the German league a couple of years ago now. Free kick midway inside their own half, Nigeria.
Just a little bit lazy in getting himself back onside. The ball was regained on the halfway line, played through, and Kramaric just not getting himself back. Needed to move 5 yards back onside to receive the pass.
It was a very decent free kick, and it set Nigeria loose on the right edge of the Croatian penalty area, but Croatia win the ball back again, and then a very obvious foul out by the Leicester man, Wilfred Ndidi. Lucky perhaps to escape a yellow card, but from that they've counter-attacked quickly, Croatia, and the cross into the middle. Well, he had two choices there, but he couldn't pick out either of them, and Nigeria survived a scary moment there.
Well, they just switched off. The free kick was taken quickly, and all of a sudden down the left side, Croatia are counter-attacking in behind that Nigerian defence, who were all over the place before they managed to scramble it away.
They're in possession inside their own half. Vrsaljko. They've got so many talented midfield players, like the man on the ball now, Rakitic, the Barcelona man. 4 years he's been at the new camp and won just about everything going. Former Sevilla man drives a long ball forward down the right-hand side for Vrsaljko, the overlapping fullback, who just about keeps it in play, or at least prevents it going out for a goal kick. But it came off him and went out for a throw-in, so Nigeria deep inside their own half with a throw-in almost on their own corner flag. The lowest ranked of the 5 African nations in these finals. As we mentioned earlier, a rather inconsistent and unpredictable team, which they certainly proved to be against England. They knock the ball up to the halfway line. Modric is there for Croatia to make sure they keep possession, and the ball is with Domagoj Vida, who plays for Besiktas, the famous Turkish club. Forward again to Modric in the central third of the field. Carefully playing it forward again to Rakitic. Rakitic with a long ball, looking to set Croatia free down their left-hand side again. But it's Shihu who clears the ball for Nigeria up towards the halfway line. Nigeria penned in their own half at the moment and just can't get out. They have got a throw in though.
Well, Modric already influential. He's controlling that central midfield area along with Rakitic. Rakitic on 2 occasions, when in possession of the ball, has looked to hit diagonals in for the fullbacks. Both fullbacks from Croatia getting forward very, very early in this game.
The ball is with Croatia, halfway inside their own half. A sloppy ball though, has given it away, given Nigeria a chance to attack with Etibu, the man just signed by Stoke City after their relegation from the Premier League. He's been fouled, and the Brazilian referee gives another free kick to Nigeria. This one is midway inside the Croatian half and in a pretty good position, quite central.
Yeah, Mandzukic just a little bit over physical. He's really closed down with Rakitic, sandwiched and given the free kick away against the team. Opportunity again for Nigeria just to test this Croatian defence.
They sent Balogun forward here, but it was a poor free kick, easily cleared by the Croatians, and they look to attack again down the left-hand side. All their early attacks in these opening minutes have come down that side of the field. They've hardly used the right side at all. Strinic linking well with Perisic. The ball played in field to Kramaric. Kramaric surrounded by Nigerian defenders, but Croatia keep possession anyway. Rebic plays it forward into the Nigerian penalty area. Then an unnecessary and rather foolish foul gives Nigeria relief. A free kick to them inside their own box.
Yeah, really impressed with the way Croatia has started, in particular Perisic and Rebic coming off the wide areas, giving licence for the fullbacks and space to come and attack. That's really pulling back. Iwobi on one side for Nigeria, and Moses is taking their threat going forward, making them defend.
Croatia have been in and out form of late. 6 wins in their last 13 internationals, 5 defeats in that spell as well. They were runners up to Iceland in the qualifiers, 2 points behind them in the group that also included Ukraine, Turkey, Finland and Kosovo. Their record there was 6 wins, 2 draws, 2 defeats. And as we were mentioning earlier in the programme, they are the kind of team, the kind of nation that have flattered deceive in the past, often rated as dark horses to go all the way in championships like this, but equally often they have failed and let their fans down. There's a good following of Croatians inside this Kaliningrad stadium, and they've seen their team dominate early possession here, and they have it now. The ball knocked back to their goalkeeper Subasic, first choice for Monaco, who were runners-up last season in the French league. And he knocks it out to the left-hand side, where again, it's been noticeable, they are concentrating these early attacks. They're in possession, just inside the Nigerian half. Kramaric plays it out to the left flank again, goes for the return ball, wasn't good, and Nigeria regain possession themselves with Iwobi, the Arsenal man, and the long ball forward, straight through to Subasic inside the Croatian penalty area. He pulls it out first time to Dejan Lovren. Bags of Premier League experiences in England. in his CV with Southampton and Liverpool. Modric is on the ball now, the former Tottenham man, capped over 100 times by his country, and he hits that long ball out to the left again. It's a clear tactic, and it has earned them their first corner of the game after Shehu was forced to head behind.
Yeah, no pressure on the ball. Modric looking forward. Rebic coming off the left-hand side, looking to play it in and behind the left full-back. Edo in the end gets enough of a touch to concede the corner, but it really is positive from Croatia. Nigeria sinking back further and further, can't dispossess certainly Croatia the way that they're keeping the ball.
Dejan Lovren a clear threat to the Nigerians from this set piece. Has scored a number of headed goals in his career in England, but they've got plenty of other threats there as well. And Modric's delivery from these set pieces is normally on the money, but before he can take this one, the referee's having a word about the usual pushing and shoving going on, so just delaying the taking. Mandzukic is being held by two Nigerian players as the corner comes in short. Back to Modric again, hits it to the near post, headed clear by Trustikong, but it's Croatia who pick up the loose ball, and then a clear foul there by Rakitic. Took one for the team, if you like, there, because it looked as though Nigeria could have had a quick counter-attacking break. He brought his man down, and again the referee rather leniently keeps his yellow card in his pocket as he clearly fouled Victor Moses.
Yeah, he was a little bit fortunate there, Rakitic, because he miscontrolled it. It was a heavy touch, and as it popped away from him, Moses quickly intercepted, got the toe to the ball, drew the challenge. Referee, as you say, the Brazilian referee has let one go there, because Rakitic could easily have found the first yellow card.
But Igalo has possession for Nigeria, keeps them moving down their right flank, just about 10 yards outside the Croatian penalty area. The men all in green from Nigeria have their first really flowing attack. The others have been quick balls played up to the edge of the Croatian penalty area. This is their longest period of passing that they've had so far. You're listening to TalkSport's live coverage from Kaliningrad of Croatia against Nigeria.
And I think they needed that. They just needed a spell, controlled possession, Nigeria. And Croatia have just dropped away, just taking the sting out of the fast start from the Croatians.
This is better from Nigeria. Their confidence will grow if they can keep the ball like this. They are only in the middle third of the field. They're not posing any immediate threat to Croatia, but they've settled now after a very nervy opening which saw Croatia going at them right from the off. Itibu has possession about 10 yards outside the centre circle. 10 minutes gone. Croatia 0, Nigeria 0. Now they switch the emphasis with the long ball for Victor Moses. It's too long though. It goes out of play. That's a goal kick to Croatia, although he applauds the intent of the move.
Yeah, I think Gernot Rohr, the coach, is something that he's emphasised about his team. They need to be more efficient in possession of the ball. That was certainly their best spell in the game. They worked the ball across the back line before the long ball in behind Srinic, where Moses is just asking a question of the left back for the first time this evening.
Rakitic has gone very deep to receive the ball just outside his own penalty area, and now that same pass again, deep. It looks as though they don't fancy Shehu, the Nigerian right back. They're really trying to expose him every time almost that they get the ball, Clark.
Yeah, they've targeted him, haven't they? So whenever Modric or Rakitic is in possession of the ball and they're unopposed, they're looking to hit that long diagonal from the right-hand side to the left of the field.
Now Mikel has dispossessed Modric near the corner flag, but his cross was an easy one to take for Subasic. Not like Modric to give it up that easily. He did well to chase back and kept pace with the former Chelsea man, but then got hustled out of it. Not the strongest physically, is he?
No, he was just bundled over, and Owen Mikel then had the opportunity to deliver into the 6-yard box, just a little bit too high and hung into that box. Subasic come and claim comfortably.
One of the oldest in this young squad, John Obi Mikel, the former Chelsea man, had a wonderful decade as well at Stamford Bridge. 370 appearances for Chelsea. And again, Croatia have conceded a free kick. That'll be a slight concern to their coach. That's 3 or 4 already now. We've only had 12 minutes on the clock. Victor Moses will take it again.
Just needless little challenges where they're slightly late, they're making physical contact, and over have gone the Nigerian players, and rightly so. They're winning free kicks, and they've had opportunities now just to test this Croatian rearguard. The service from the free kicks has been poor.
That was not a lot better, but it comes out, the second ball. That shot was blocked as well. They're still midway inside the Croatian half, however, and the ball is with Ido. Ido allowed to run 10 yards forward and goes for the return ball. He's inside the Croatian penalty area. His cross was poor, easily blocked by, I think it was Lovren who got a foot to it, and Croatia come clear, but not for long. Etibo wins it back for Nigeria. They're about 20 yards outside the Croatian penalty area, and now a sloppy ball by Igalo has given Croatia their opportunity to come forward. A good early tempo here.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic tempo to the game. Nigeria on a couple of occasions dispossessed Croatia, quickly playing forward.
And once again it's that left flank causing Nigeria all manner of problems here. And the shot was a brilliant effort, and it very nearly brought the opening goal of the game for Perisic.
Really well played by Croatia, swept out to the left-hand side. Rebic comes on the inside, plays it to the edge of the 18-yard box. Lovely layoff from Mandzukic, first time hit from Perisic, but always rising. Didn't test the keeper, but a sweet move from Croatia.
Good effort by the Inter Milan midfielder who used to play for Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp when they were together in that very successful Borussia Dortmund team that won the title and several other trophies as well. The long ball, kick forward into the Croatian half, sees Nigeria in possession down their right, midway inside the Croatian territory, but the ball has gone out of play for a throw-in to Nigeria. The younger squad, remember, average age 25, and only a handful of their squad have played in the World Cup finals before, but they've got a noisy and, as I mentioned earlier, very colourful following inside this stadium. There might be a slight concern about the way the opening almost quarter of an hour has gone, in the sense that Croatia have had so much possession. Igalo has gone down halfway inside Croatia's half, but this time the free kick goes against the Nigerian man for a handball as he was challenged from behind by Vida.
Yeah, good pressure from Vida. Igalo just bringing his hands up as it pops up off his chest, handles the ball, turns possession over back to Croatia. But what a tempo, first 15 minutes, lovely tempo to the game, real intensity from both teams.
Yeah, it's been breathtaking stuff so far. Just that one real seemingly goal-bound effort that went over the crossbar in the end from Perisic. Dejan Lovren moves forward into the Nigerian half. Rare sight for him. Doesn't often cross the halfway line for Liverpool unless it's a set piece. Good ball forward though, and the first or second shot in anger from Kramaric this time, but it was well wide. No real problem for Izohu in the Nigerian goal.
Again, another good build-up from Croatia. He's worked through Lovren to Kramaric, eventually gets it 30 yards out, scoops it from under his feet, doesn't quite get the quality of strike that he was hoping for, always just drifting wide of that right upright.
The Super Eagles, as they're known, Nigeria, they were the first African nation to get through the group stage of the finals. The very first time they qualified in USA in 1994. They're on the attack now, 20 yards outside the Croatian penalty area, and looking good. Good challenge coming in though from Brasajko to deny them, but they pick up the second ball with Etibo playing it back into his own half to Balogun, now a Brighton player. Look forward to seeing him in the Premier League next season. Croatia regained possession with Modric inside the centre circle, and this is getting so repetitive. Another ball out to that left-hand side, and they're looking good with Kramaric, edge of the box, shouting for possession. He's been ignored for the moment by Rebic. Now it's played forward into the Nigerian penalty area. Perisic is there, and it's gone behind for another corner for Croatia, who, when they do get on the front foot and come forward, are looking very good.
Yeah, it's excellent. The way that as soon as they're in possession, this occasion it was Modric, space in the centre circle, sweeps it out to Rebic on that left-hand side. Then they go and join, short, sharp passing, try to thread the ball over the back of that Nigerian defence to win the corner.
Vida and Lovren both forward from their defensive positions for this corner kick. But again, Nigeria hold tight, clear with ease. The ball has gone out of play for a throw-in to Croatia, far side of the field, their left. They're going to wear a hole, I think, down that left flank, because that's where the vast majority of their early attacks have come from. Lovren has the ball from the throw-in. inside the centre circle, finding Brisaiko, the Atletico Madrid right back, who's also had some experience in the Italian league with Genoa and Sassuolo. He has possession just inside Nigeria's half. The ball played carefully back to Dejan Lovren, and across the field from him to Vida, his fellow centre-back. Now Modric comes deep into his own half to get possession and finds Lovren on the halfway line for Croatia. Coming up to 18 minutes gone. It's 0-0 here. Kramaric is floored about 20 yards outside the Nigerian penalty area. Free kick to the Croatians.
Oh, it's excellent. The way that he receives the ball, he lets it run across his body, opens himself out as Balogun comes to close quickly. All of a sudden, as he gets goal side, Balogun has to pull him down. The left arm goes up, the right hand's on the shoulder. It bundles him to the ground. First opportunity of note for Croatia from a free kick situation in the final third.
Never really got going, did he, in English football, Kramaric? Just a couple of substitute appearances in the season. Leicester City won the Premier League title, but he's earned his team a free kick here. It's a good position. They've got several players who could hurt Nigeria here, but the Nigerians have defended these early set pieces well up to now. Vidal forward again, and Lovren taking up their positions. It's Rakitic who leaves it to Modric, floats it out towards the far post. Good take by the teenage goalkeeper Uzohu. That'll make him feel better.
Yeah, and it was Perisic on that far side, comes from a deep position. Rakitic runs over it. Modric again hitting that ball right to left into that area on the right-hand side of Nigeria's defence. Keeper was really positive. Great spring, takes the ball high, relieves the pressure.
Good start to this game here. You're listening to TalkSport, who will provide live coverage of every single game in Russia, in what's been a very promising start, I have to say, to these World Cup finals, and a promising start to this game here, coming up to 20 minutes on the clock. Nigeria in possession. Good ball played out to the right to Victor Moses, who's got an opportunity to get into the penalty area. He's brought down, was he? It looked like a free kick, I have to say. The Brazilian referee has waved the way on, and Nigeria, and Moses in particular, will be unhappy about that.
Alan, I think that the referee was very, very lenient there. Strinic was lucky because Moses turns back on the inside of him. It's a yard outside the 18-yard box. I think he plays and takes Moses' legs away from him, doesn't play the ball. Should have been a Nigeria free kick.
I'd agree with that, yeah. Anyway, they attack again. Iwobi playing it infield. They're on the halfway line with John Obi Mikel. Good ball down the left-hand side for Idowu to get onto, but well defended by Strajko. And Subasic decided to take a second touch. Panicked suddenly as he saw a Nigerian player coming in to put pressure on him. So just lamped the ball forward, and it's gone all the way through to Uzohu, his opposite number, who also hits it first time in the direction of Victor Moses. Not the best ball, but they've retained possession on the halfway line here, Nigeria. Moses, whose career was rejuvenated by that switch to wing-back. Good ball forward for Igalo, who's onside here. He's all on his own at the moment. He might have to go all the way on his own. He did. His shot was blocked, and Nigeria will win their first corner of the game thanks to the former Watford man.
Well, they've just got down the left-hand side of that Croatian defence, and Igalo is played on by Lovren, not Vida who's marking him. He's trying to step up. He's just spun in behind him, tried a shot, blocked, and then Moses just lets that blocked shot go out for a Nigeria corner.
Playing in China now, Igalo. The corner comes in right into the centre of the penalty area, headed clear and played back in. And the goalkeeper scrambling here. He got himself in a poor position. He's still under pressure, and finally in the end it's Rakitic who heads it clear, and the follow-up shot from distance was poor, well off target from Ogen Itibu.
Just a little bit of a threat from Nigeria, just knocking crosses into that Croatia penalty area. They couldn't clear their lines, it was headed back. Big centre-halves up there. Vida actually makes the header, but catches Balogun as he powers that header out of the 18-yard box before it's returned again. Really competitive in there. Just catches him. No intent from Vida. He's just jumping, and the big centre-half has collided with him.
Yep, bit of concern there for Chris Hughton, who I'm sure will be watching this. Just signed Balogun from Mainz in Germany. He was actually born in Berlin to a Nigerian father, and he's played for 4 different club sides in Germany, but he's all right. He's on his feet. and trotting back to his defensive position now. He missed the 2014 World Cup for Nigeria due to injury, and I'm sure he's going to be a very good addition to Chris Hughton's squad after their marvellous first campaign in the Premier League. He's got a cut like a boxer right under his eye. He's also got blood coming from his nose, so he's had to go off to continue treatment. Looks as though he's done a couple of rounds there with, well, no, if it was Mike Tyson, he wouldn't be coming back, would he?
His nose might be a little bit worse for wear than that.
Schweiker coming forward for Croatia. Plays the ball cleverly down the right flank for a change. Rebic gets the cross in. The goalkeeper hesitated again. He does look uncertain when the ball comes in to the penalty area at times. The 19-year-old. They've cleared the danger for the moment. Etibo, the Stoke man, goes through a strong challenge from Rakitic. Too strong for the referee's liking. Free kick to Nigeria inside their own half.
Well, the one who's really impressed so far is Rebic. He started on the left, he switched sides with Perisic. Now they're coming down the right-hand side. All of a sudden he's influential again. Lovely little back heel, got to the edge of the box. In the end, it's scrambled away by Nigeria. But every time they seem to be going to Rebic, something's going to happen for Croatia.
Plays for Eintracht Frankfurt in Germany. He's also had a spell in Italian football with Fiorentina, the number 18 for Croatia, Ante Rebic. Nigeria in possession in their own half. A long ball forward this time, and plenty of time for the defence to get it under control. Lovren taking it down on his chest with ease. Rakitic coming very deep again to receive the ball off him. It goes on to Vida, still midway inside Croatia's half. Now the ball goes long down the left flank, almost inevitably. Nigeria clear their lines, thanks to Shehu, the man that Croatia have clearly been targeting here. He can often play as a winger. He plays in the Turkish league for Bursaspor, so maybe they feel he's not a natural defender. There's yet another ball swept out to that side of the field. It's such an obvious tactic. You wonder if Nigeria will do something to, to try and stop that ball going out there every time. They're in possession, but they're right outside their own penalty box. Now they work the ball forward, and Moses did well to find Igalo down the right-hand side. They've had to slow it down inside the centre circle, Nigeria, but they've kept possession well this time. Idowu has the ball for them. Alex Iwobi trying to find a way through, the Arsenal man who's made almost 100 appearances now for the Gunners, including no fewer than 39 for them last season, in what proved to be rather a traumatic campaign for Arsenal with the resignation of Arsene Wenger. But a good start to this game here. It's still 0-0. You're listening to TalkSport's live coverage of the 2018 World Cup finals. Nigeria have possession halfway inside their own half. Ball played out to Moses, who just flicks it forward into the centre circle rather aimlessly, and easily won back by Croatia, who were once ranked the third best country in the world by FIFA, but they've qualified for the last two World Cup finals only by coming through the playoffs. A lovely ball forward by Modric, and really Mandzukic should have done better with that. It's gone all the way through to goalkeeper Zohu, whose kick was a bit wild, sliced it straight out of play. Throw in Croatia.
Yeah, just a little bit of pressure from Mandzukic after the miscontrol on the goalkeeper. He slices it out to the right hand side, but that's where Croatia need him to hold that ball up, because as soon as Modric plays it in, Perisic is coming off the left, trying to support him in front. Just needs Mandzukic to link that play in that situation.
Throw in almost level with the 18-yard line. Perisic keeps the ball, crosses it as well, and the whistle has gone for a foul by the Croatian. Free kick to Nigeria inside their own penalty area.
It's Rebic on the fullback, Idowu. He's just really handed him off with his right hand. He's up over above the penalty spot, just looking to knock it down. Can see clearly just shoves him out of the way before heading it back to Kramaric.
Strange thing about Nigeria's squad, they've only got one player who actually plays in the Nigerian domestic league, and that's their reserve keeper Ezenwa. Half a dozen from the English Premier League, 5 from the Turkish league, and then a variety of countries that the rest of them play their club football in. But that's good for them. That kind of experience is holding them in good stead. And although they have been second best in terms of possession in the opening 27 minutes here, they haven't had a real scare as yet. They might now, as Croatia come forward again, but it wasn't really the best ball by Rebic this time, and easily cleared by Troost Ekong, the central defender of Nigeria.
Now, Mandzukic wasn't in sync with Rebic there. The ball was played forward down the right channel. He crossed immediately first time to the penalty spot. Mandzukic was on the wrong side of the defender. He has to be attacking that space. I think that there's a few remonstrations amongst the Croatian players because they realised that that again was an opportunity. Half a chance created. They wasn't on the end of the pass.
They then made a total mess of a straightforward throw-in, which has given Nigeria the chance to come forward with Etibu, looking for Victor Moses, who started out on the right-hand side here. I can't say he's given very much cover to Shehu, the right back behind him, because as we've mentioned more than once, that's where the majority of Croatia's attacks have come from. But Victor Moses' main job, of course, is to get forward and cause problems. He's on the ball now, on the halfway line, plays it in field to Etibu. Etibu has to turn away and go back into his own half, where he finds Balogun. And it's another little spell of possession football for the green-shirted Nigerians. They have possession with Wilfred Ndidi, the Leicester player, who made more tackles than any other single player in the Premier League last season. He hasn't had to make too many tackles as yet. The ball's been in the possession of Croatia for most of the, well, almost half an hour gone now.
He hasn't got close enough to Modric or Rakitic. That's been the problem. And again, you see, they're dominating that midfield area. And because they're not closing quickly, they are looking forward. And they are looking to hit that diagonal from right to left, Croatia.
Croatia have the ball with Modric inside the centre circle. Plays it out to Dejan Lovren on the right. Now Vrsaljko, the right back. They're still inside their own half, though, Croatia. Will they look again for that long ball out to the left? No, a more central pass this time intended for Mandzukic, but won back by Nigeria. Then it hit Igalo, I think, on the heel, so he was unable to control it. And that gives Rakitic the chance to come forward for Croatia, but he miscued the pass and then miscued the tackle, and that means he'll become the first player in this game to be yellow carded.
Yeah, and it's a silly challenge in the end. I think he's a bit frustrated because he's tried to play the ball forward. Victor Moses is then running back at him with possession, and he dives into the challenge. Long right leg goes out, really catches Victor Moses on that right ankle. Referee absolutely right to issue the first yellow card.
Painful one there for the Chelsea man, who was the top scorer for Nigeria in the qualifiers with 3 goals. Spent most of his life and his football career, of course, in England. The last 6 years at Chelsea after a series of loans, but as I mentioned, he was switched to wing back, and it really revived his career. He's on his feet again, still limping a bit, still in a bit of pain, but Nigeria have possession from the resulting free kick. The ball not long towards Igalo, headed away by Vidal, and then Rakitic calmly back to goalkeeper Subasic. I don't think either goalkeeper, although we've had a lively start here, has had a save to make yet.
No, that's the only disappointing thing about the first half an hour, is for the quality of the play, for the intensity of it. There's not really been a clear-cut shot or attempt at goal that's tested either keeper.
Could that change now with Croatia inevitably coming forward down their left flank? The ball in the middle to Mandzukic, who chests it down, and the shot, I think, took a deflection there and has gone behind for a corner. It did.
It's that man Rebic again. The ball's played in on the diagonal into the box, and it's chested down by Mandzukic, nicely inviting Rebic to strike it, and the centre-half comes out quickly to block the shot and concede the corner.
Which will be taken by Luka Modric on the right-hand side for Croatia. Pretty virgin turf down there with all the left-wing attacks so far. He steps back, takes it right-footed, good ball into the middle. Oh, it's a chance, and it's a goal! Mandzukic got his head to it, and Croatia have taken the lead. Rebic with the flick on, Mandzukic with the diving header, and it's Croatia who deservedly get their noses in front with 32 minutes gone here in Kaliningrad.
Well, the man really, for me, who's been the star in this opening half an hour, he sort of scuffed it in at the back post, near post corner from Modric, flicked on at the near post by Mandzukic, across to that far post area. I think he just, in the end, comes off of his right heel. Oh, it might have been, there's a header, there's a deflection. It's perhaps an own goal. I think it's Entebbe who maybe has the last touch. The diving header, yes, that's not going in. The header's not going in. The touch is Entebbe at that back post, which inadvertently deflects it in past the far upright.
Well, I'm sure Mandzukic, being a striker, will try and claim that. But arguably, as Clive said, it could well have been going wide. So Entebbe might well be credited, if credited is the right word, with an own goal there. Anyway, it's 1-0 to Croatia, but Nigeria on the counter-attack and looking dangerous with Igalo, who had a chance to shoot. Just delayed it a little bit too long, perhaps, and it was easily blocked.
Good block by Vida in the end, but what a response from Nigeria, having gone behind, got the ball, fed the ball through to Igalo. The shooting opportunity was there, really well blocked by the centre-half, throwing himself in the way of the shot.
Now Moses comes forward for Nigeria. Entebbe keen to wipe out the memory of that unfortunate own goal. He couldn't do a lot about it. The ball just sliced in off him. And he's played the ball out to the right-hand side to Idowu. And now it goes to John Obi Mikel, just outside the Croatian penalty area. John Obi Mikel loses possession, so Croatia have the ball again halfway inside their own half and cleverly win a throw-in. Well, what a start here for Croatia and Zlatko Dalic, who only took over last October, 2 days before their final qualifier. A must-win game against Ukraine, which indeed they did win. And all around this stadium now, for once, for the moment anyway, the green-shirted Nigerian fans are silent. It's the red and white checks of Croatia, much in evidence, and they have possession. A lovely ball down the left-hand side, sliding challenge coming in from Troosti Konga. Good one, and then he looked to have been fouled there. The referee has said play on because Nigeria do have possession, but not in a particularly dangerous area. In fact, they've had to go all the way back to the edge of their own penalty box. I think FIFA have indeed deemed that to be an own goal, as the ball goes long to the edge of the Croatian penalty area and all the way through to their goalkeeper Subasic.
Yeah, Alan, I think that the flicked header from Mandzukic then takes a touch, is going wide of that upright before inadvertently he deflects it back into the goal. So it was I think it's a goal that Croatia deserved with the way that they've played this first 35 minutes, but it's a scrappy one, but they will not be worried about that.
10 minutes to half-time. Croatia 1, Nigeria 0. You're listening to TalkSport's live coverage from Kaliningrad of this Group D fixture. Vida in possession for Croatia, halfway inside their own half. Now the ball is played into the centre circle, and Croatia builds slowly from the back with the Liverpool man Dejan Lovren to Vrsaljko, just inside Nigerian territory. It has to go all the way back to Rakitic, who's playing in a really deep position, and he knocks it out to the left-hand side where Vida stretched to keep possession, but that he did, and finds Modric. Now it goes forward towards Mandzukic, the man whose header was inadvertently turned into his own net there by Stoke City's new man Entebbe. He only signed for them, I believe, a couple of days ago. He had been with Las Palmas on loan, and the referee's given a free kick here for a bit of all-in wrestling from Luka Modric on the halfway line on the unfortunate own goal scorer. Free kick to Nigeria as the Croatian fans build the noise again, but their team defending now right on the edge of their own box, and it's a dangerous header across, but Croatia deal with that problem. And Vrsaljko plays it long into the centre circle, and they've got a man breaking. It's Vrsaljko who played the ball forward himself. They've got three in the box here. Oh, what a poor cross though. Mandzukic might get there, no he can't, to keep it alive.
3 against 2 in the box. Great run from the fullback, played the ball infield to Kramaric, who with the outside of his right boot flicked the fullback back in. Then the crossing opportunity was there. They got 3 attacking players against 2 Nigerian defenders. Just the quality of the cross from the fullback let him down when the opportunity was there for Croatia.
8 minutes remaining in the first half here in Kaliningrad in Group D. You're listening to TalkSport. Croatia 1, Nigeria 0. Diving header by Mandzukic, turned into his own net by Ogen Etibu, although he didn't know an awful lot about it. Lovren has the ball on the halfway line for Croatia. Has plenty of time in the world to pick the right pass here, and decides to go all the way back to his goalkeeper Daniel Subasic, who won the title with Monaco 2 seasons ago. Runners-up, as I mentioned before, last season. Vrsaljko, the right back, has got forward onto his long clearance and just tried to earn his team a corner. It's been knocked out for a throw-in instead, almost on the corner flag.
Yeah, he's asking questions of Iwobi now. He's playing on the left-hand side of that midfield for Nigeria. He's having to track the fullback back. He's going to run forward at every opportunity.
Kramaric in possession for Croatia. Clips the ball into the Nigerian penalty area where it's headed clear. Modric can't reach it, but he had support from Vrsaljko and also from Perisic, and they retain possession. But on the halfway line now, Croatia, they lead 1-0 here with something like 7 minutes remaining in the first half. Luka Modric drills that ball out to the left flank again, the favoured tactic for Croatia in this first half. And the ever-dangerous Rebic keeps possession for them. And now it's at the feet of Rakitic, midway inside the half. Good ball into the middle. Oh, the header from Kramaric, just over.
Really good build-up from Croatia, from the diagonal ball out to Rebic. The interplay to get the ball back to Rakitic, and then the way that immediately he's unopposed, he fires that ball in. Pace, flat, just needs a touch. Kramaric gets off the top of his head, looks as if it might be directed over the goalkeeper, just agonisingly over the crossbar.
Only scored 4 goals in 20 appearances in his time with Leicester. Done a lot better with Hoffenheim, a lot better. Modric has the ball. Oh, they've got an injured player now, Croatia. That's why play has stopped, with coming up to 5 minutes to half-time on the clock. Referee just trying to establish whether treatment is needed. I think we're going to have another look back at the goal on our TV monitor here, Clive. I don't think it was going in. I think you're right. Mandzukic's header was probably going wide.
Yeah, it's flashed across the 6-yard box. Mandzukic stooping and throwing himself at it, just flicks it. It's going towards that back post area. Kramaric is there, and also Etibu. Inadvertently, he just deflects, I think, off the back of his heel inside that far upright.
Rebic is still down, the Croatian who's been such an effective force for them in this first half, getting treatment for what looks like a knee injury, as the Croatian fans sing their songs and the Nigerians reply from the other section of the stadium, even though they are 1-0 down. Nigeria's preparations, well, you've got to say they were disrupted by a row over players' bonuses this time, and indeed 4 years ago, and apparently even the nation's president had to intervene. It's a troubled camp at times for Nigeria. Things never seem to go smoothly for them, but I think you know their coach, Gernot Rohr, a very experienced German, pretty well.
Yes, that's right. Centre-half I played with at Bordeaux in France in my time there, and he's tried to instill some discipline, some rigidity to this team. He knows of the flamboyance, the ability that they have, but just trying to instill a little bit more of a professionalism about the way that they attack the game. And certainly it's going to take time. It's not something that's in their culture, and it's something that they've found difficult to adapt to, but he knows he's got a lot of talent in this squad.
Yeah, they want the ball. They want the ball at their feet. They want to go forward. They want to attack, score goals. The rather unglamorous art of defending, perhaps not something that they're particularly bothered about. But they've got to be now, because they're a goal down, and they've also got to combine that with their usual attacking talents as the ball is played long to the edge of their penalty area. Mandzukic had another chance, lays it on to Vrsaljko, the right back, whose shot was rather wild and about 10 yards at least wide of target. Goal kick.
I tell you what I like about Croatia, Alan, is that they're not afraid to play the ball forward, and it's not aimless. This time Perisic makes a run to the edge of the box. Good knockdown, ball work wide to the right back. He slices his attempt, but again, there's a variation in the way that they're building up Croatia. Really impressive.
He was the player incidentally sent off in last season's Europa League semi-final against Arsenal. Kramaric hits a long ball towards the edge of the Nigerian penalty area, where it's headed clear by Trustikong. And Nigeria have possession on the halfway line. Good turn away from danger there by John Obi Mikel. And now Itibu has it, but he's back inside his own half. Shehu has had a bit of a battering at right back in this first half, just plays it across the field.
Alan, I just wonder if Gernot Rohr will be thinking of making a similar sort of tactical change to the one he made at Wembley against England, going with the 3 central defenders, pushing the full-backs further forward as wing-backs to try to thwart the threat that Croatia have had coming from either side. They really need to get more bodies in that midfield area. Rakitic and Modric have really dictated the tempo of the game from there.
Yeah, it's a good point, and it's certainly brought about a fairly dramatic transformation at Wembley, when they've been very much second best to England in the first half of that friendly. Certainly for the first 20-25 minutes arguably of the second half, Nigeria looked a different team and gave England some problems. So that's one for the coach to ponder, but he hasn't got long to ponder it, because the half-time whistle is now just about 80 seconds away. Plus, of course, there will be some stoppage time, but not a lot. Alex Iwobi, the Arsenal man, in possession for Nigeria, inside his own half. Plays it across the field to Trustikong, the central defender, who hits a good ball forward. A lovely little flick then by Victor Moses out to the right to keep them in possession. And now they build down that right-hand side once again with Victor Moses, and he's been brought down there. That's given them a free kick in a really good position. If they can get this into a dangerous area here, they could cause Croatia some problems. Clumsy challenge by Rebic. Yeah, it really was, and it was Victor Moses being positive. Comes off the right-hand side inside as Rebic comes back. I would call it a forwards tackle. Moses had just flicked on the outside, drawn the challenge, won a free kick. Great position to deliver from for Nigeria. The 2 central defenders, William Trustikong and Leon Balogun, have both come forward. Igalo's a good header of the ball as well. Moses didn't really get the delivery right with his earlier free kicks in this half. If he can get this one on the money, Croatia could have a problem. But again, he's put it into a good area, and then the follow-up shot by Iwobi is blocked, because Croatia certainly had too many men in the way, really. And the goalkeeper's had to race off his line and slid to keep the ball inside his penalty area. Very nearly carried it outside. First opportunity, really clear-cut striking opportunity for Iwobi. Hits it well, but it's Dejan Lovren who makes a really good block with his right boot. Good end to the half here for Nigeria. We're in 2 minutes of stoppage time. Itibu has the ball for them. Plays it out to Ndidi. We haven't seen a great deal of the Leicester man in this first half. Now Alex Iwobi, the Arsenal man, midway inside the half, finds Victor Moses, who tries a long-range shot, rather ambitious, and it sails over the crossbar for a goal kick. Just couldn't get it out of his feet. First time really that Iwobi and Moses have been narrow. Picks the ball up, 35 yards out, underneath his feet, and in the end scoops it high over the crossbar. Agony on Victor Moses' face, and a fan has decided to keep the ball. A Croatian fan. No, he's been persuaded to return it, thank goodness. And it won't be long now before both coaches can get their players in the dressing room, and Nigeria in particular might need to change 1 or 2 things and sort 1 or 2 things out. Well, they've got to get pressure higher up the field. Certainly they've got to try to get a situation where Modric and Rakitic don't have as much time as they've had in this first period, don't have the opportunity to hit the diagonal balls, especially out to Rebic on the left or into Mandzukic. And for me, that means the tactical change, the one that we saw at Wembley that was so effective for Nigeria at the beginning of the second half. The whistle has gone, and the referee has brought the first half to a close. A lively first half. Particularly from Croatia's point of view, they had a lot of possession early on. They kept knocking the ball, sometimes long, sometimes short, down the left flank for them, and that gave Nigeria a lot of problems. But up to that point, they didn't have too many attempts on goal. Perisic had one, Kramaric had another. Then finally they got their breakthrough following a corner when a diving header by the Juventus striker Mario Mandzukic hit the now Stoke City player Ogun Etibu on its way into the net, and that has given Croatia a 1-0 lead over Nigeria here at half-time.
Thanks, Alan and Clive. Tomorrow's highlights feature two favourites for this 2018 FIFA World Cup. It's when Brazil and Germany join the World Cup party here in Russia. Brazil face Switzerland at 7 at the new stadium in Rostov. Ian Danter and Matt Holland will be there. And before that game, Germany face Mexico, the second game at the Luzhniki in Moscow. Germany thrashed Mexico 4-1 in the semi-final of the Confederations Cup last year. That was in Sochi. So 3 games tomorrow. Costa Rica face Serbia first. Join Danny Kelly at 1 p.m. And Monday is England's debut in the tournament. They face Tunisia. Jim Proudfoot and Stuart Pearce will be your commentators. Mark Saggers your host. And Nigel Adderley will be pitch side. Right, let's get some half-time thoughts with the Co-op.
Half-time on TalkSport in partnership with the Co-op. Visit your local Co-op and grab all you need for the big match. Football's better together at the Co-op.
Well, Clive, Allen, let's talk about the goal first of all. Rather fortunate, but I suppose Croatia have been pressing it. In the end, it's gone in rather by luck than design.
Yeah, it has. It's a near post corner that's whipped into that front post. In the end, Mandzukic diving header that flicks across the 6-yard box. Kramaric is at the back post. He's trying to toe that ball in, and inadvertently it hits Etibu and then creeps in just inside the far upright. I thought Croatia deserved it. Tempo of the game's been good. The domination has been in that midfield area where Modric and Rakitic, the 2 technicians for Croatia, have really been influential. Their tactic has been positive. They've hit the diagonal from right to left, really caused Shehu all sorts of problems on the right-hand side of that Nigeria defence. I think it's a fair reflection of the first half.
Yeah, clearly they've done the homework on Nigeria's weaknesses, but do you think Croatia will be, I don't know, maybe feel they should be more in front?
Yeah, I think with the control and the way that they've dominated the game, I think that they would have felt perhaps that they should have created a few more clear-cut opportunities. 1 or 2 crossing positions where they haven't capitalised on it. They've worked it, as I say, majority of the time down the left-hand side of the field. But sometimes when Mandzukic is in the box, he's been isolated. They need players to join from deeper with the possession that they've had.
And Nigeria, for their part, we saw at Wembley at half-time there was a tactical change that altered the course of the game, and they got themselves back in it. Are you expecting them to do something and change things at half-time again? Yeah, I'll be very surprised if Gernot Rohr doesn't address the problem that he has in terms of trying to get some pressure onto Modric and Rakitic with bodies further forward. Maybe they will go with the 3, push the full-backs on as wing-backs, which I think would just nullify the threat that Croatia have had by hitting those diagonal balls. Clive, thanks very much. It's 1-0 to Croatia. That was our look back at the first half with the Co-op. Football is better together at the Co-op.
Half-time on TalkSport in partnership with the Co-op. Visit your local Co-op and grab all you need for the big match. Football's better together at the Co-op.
Let's get the latest from the US Open Golf. Here's TalkSport's Bob Bubka.
Good news for you, Adrian. Justin Rose has picked up an early birdie. He moves to level par. Dustin Johnson picks up a double bogey. He's at 2 under par. Rose now only 2 shots back. Brooks Koepka, winner of the United States Open last year, he's at +1, 3 back. Henrik Stenson, 3 back. Tommy Fleetwood, also 3 back. Things getting tighter here, Adrian, at Shinnecock.
Keep you updated with the golf. England won the cricket in Cardiff, but they lost the rugby in Bloemfontein. And in the first half in Kaliningrad, Croatia have a lucky lead. Live on TalkSport.
The game gets underway with Nigeria in that all-green strip and Croatia in that famous red and white strip. And once again, it's that left flank causing Nigeria all manner of problems here. And the shot was a brilliant effort. And it very nearly brought the opening goal of the game for Perisic. Good ball forward though, and the first or second shot in anger from Kramaric this time, but it was well wide, no real problem for Uzohu in the Nigerian goal. Steps back, takes it right-footed, good ball into the middle. Oh, it's a chance and it's a goal! Mandzukic got his head to it, and Croatia have taken the lead. Rebic with the flick on, Mandzukic with the diving header, and it's Croatia who deservedly get their noses in front with 32 minutes gone here in Kaliningrad. Now it's at the feet of Rakitic, midway inside the half. Good ball into the middle. Oh, the header from Kramaric, just over.
The football in Russia on Talk Sport with Toolstation. Free next day business delivery on orders over £10.
The Audi Q2 is available in a range of quite unique colours. There's road-hugging red and fits the kitchen sink blue. No parking space too tight yellow. And bring on the cobbles orange. It's also available from just £259 per month. The Audi Q2. Multicolour, multi-purpose. Audi. Vorsprung durch Technik. Business users only. Available until July 1st, 2018 with 48-month contract hire and £1,554 initial rental. Excludes 20% VAT. 18s and over. Subject to status. T's and C's and exclusions apply. Indemnities may be required. No ownership option. See Audi.co.uk. Audi Financial Services.
The World Cup on Talk Sport with Direct Line. Get a quote from Direct Line. Search Direct Line Van.
What a game! One city, two bitter rivals, 9 yellow cards and a manager banished to the stands. The most heated derby day in decades. But Dave and his mates didn't see any of it. They were stuck watching an antique show.
This is one of the finest taxidermy pigeons I've seen.
Never miss a game with Virgin Media, the only place to get all the football on Sky Sports and BT Sport in one package. Search Virgin Media Football. Virgin Media, delivering awesome. Virgin Fibre areas only. Terms apply.
Tournament football can be unpredictable. So for all World Cup matches, back a team to win, and if they go 2 goals up at any point, Paddy Power will pay out as a winner immediately, whatever happens next. A wonder goal from a teenager. A random headbutt from a Frenchman. A hungry Uruguayan. Whatever. Go 2 up and nothing gets in the way of your winnings. Paddy Power. Enough of the nonsense. Applies to pre-match win, draw, win singles only. Not available in shops. T's and C's apply. 18 plus BeGambleAware.org.
This is for a dad, a brother, a nan. This is for a friend, a neighbour, a colleague. This is for the thousands of people living with cancer. This summer, do something incredible and brave the shave for Macmillan Cancer Support. Get sponsored by friends and family to shave your hair, and you'll help Macmillan support even more people with cancer so they can live life as fully as they can. For everyone and every reason, by braving the shave, you'll be doing something amazing. Sign up today at bravetheshave.org.uk.
Check their reputation. Check their insurance. Check their background. Check how much time you're wasting on all of this when you could be watching the football instead. Or just go to checkertrade.com and do it all in one. Exactly. When you need someone to do a job around your home, checkertrade.com should be the first place you go. Visit checkertrade.com, where reputation matters.
Checkertrade! Checkertrade.com.
Expect to build your own car deal online, anytime, at arnoldclark.com. Expect over 200 branches nationwide. Expect to choose from over 20,000 cars. And expect the UK's best used car deals, guaranteed.
Don't worry about a thing. Don't worry about a thing. Don't worry about a thing.
Expect the Arnold Clark experience. Visit arnoldclark.com.
We've got it at Selco. Selco, it's where the trade go.
At Selco Builders Warehouse, we've got real deals on a wide range of trade quality building products. In June, we've got a 6x5 foot close board fence panel for only £16.85 ex VAT. Now that's a real deal. We've got even more real deals at Selco Builders Warehouse. For more information, see selcobw.com.
We've got it at Selco. Selco, it's where the trade go.
If there's one thing QuickFit's famous for, it's tyres. And it's easy to see why. We have thousands of tyres in stock, including all the top brands. So we're bound to have what you need. Plus, with our special offers, there's always a great deal to be had. We've got over 600 centres across the UK, and most of them are open 7 days a week. So head down to your local QuickFit today or book online and drive away happy.
Unmissable matches from the motherland. The 2018 FIFA World Cup. Russia on Talk Sport.
Costa Rica versus Serbia. Kickoff 1 p.m.
Diaz has it again for Costa Rica. That's a great ball. Oh, Ruiz, it's hit the underside of the bar. Goal there. Ruiz has scored.
And now Mitrovic with a chance. And Serbia have the equaliser. And it's Alexander Mitrovic.
Germany versus Mexico. Kickoff 4 p.m.
And he's put in for number 3. Thomas Muller scores again.
Mexico again. It's Dos Santos. Great save. And the rebound has been fired in. And the goal is given this time.
Brazil versus Switzerland. Kickoff 7 p.m.
And they've won the ball back here. And a chance of a goal. It's Neymar who gives Brazil the lead.
Oh! Sensational goal by Shaqiri. That might well be the goal of the tournament.
3 games tomorrow, then join Danny Kelly at 1 p.m. He'll build up to the first game, which is at 2 UK time. Costa Rica taking on Serbia in Samara. 4 p.m. Germany up against Mexico here in Moscow. And then I'll take over from 7 and bring you Brazil against Switzerland from Rostov. Full commentary of every game of this World Cup across the TalkSport network. And don't forget, Monday it is England's time. Monday night in Volgograd, Tunisia taking on England. The best build-up here on TalkSport. I'll be joined by Eni Aluko and Darren Goff in the build-up to that game on TalkSport, while the Belgium-Panama game is going out on TalkSport 2, and then we'll take you to Volgograd and bring you the whole game and the best reaction, of course, straight after the game as well. In fact, some terrific games on Monday, not just Belgium-Panama and Tunisia, England, Sweden take on South Korea as well. And then we finish the first round of group games on Tuesday. That's when Colombia take on Japan and Poland take on Senegal. And by that time we'll know how the group's shaping up. Bit of news from the World Cup. The Egyptian FA has said that Mo Salah will be fit for the Russia game in St. Petersburg on Tuesday. What an occasion that will be for the host nation. And ahead of Brazil's opening game live on TalkSport today, the Brazil coach Tite has said that tomorrow's opponents, Switzerland, will be the toughest opponents in the tournament for them, apart from Germany. Let's bring in Clive Allen on that. Is he playing mind games there, saying Switzerland, apart from Germany, Switzerland are the toughest opponents Brazil will face? That's got to be a mind games thing on the eve of that game, isn't it, Clive?
Absolutely. I think he's just emphasising to his players how important it is to get off to a good start. It won't be an easy game. Switzerland will make it difficult for them, but he knows how important it is not to get an adverse result in their first game.
I think the interesting thing with that game, one of them anyway, is Shaqiri. There's a big debate as to whether he's a top 4 player, having been at Bayern Munich and Inter Milan, and then been at Stoke and got relegated, and maybe sometimes didn't put it all in. I think it's fair to say, but it has undoubted quality. He can prove himself at this World Cup, and he scored a great goal in the last World Cup as well. We just heard the commentary of it there, Clive.
Absolutely, yeah. I think he's a talented player. Yeah, there's been some question marks about perhaps his intensity to the game playing for Stoke in the Premier League, but on this stage, he has the credentials to start. We've seen him score that magnificent goal last time around, and there's no reason why he can't, again, make a name for himself in this competition.
What about England? How confident are you of victory against Tunisia? Actually, the bigger question is, how important is it? Because there have been some people saying a draw wouldn't be the end of the world. I personally think it would be.
No, I think as long as we don't get beat, and I don't see us getting beat, I think we're coming to this World Cup. The expectation is not too high. I think it's a young group with great spirit. They've prepared well. They've done everything right. It's now important that we get off to a good start. I'm confident we will.
Belgium have got better players. Do you expect them to win the group?
I think that they should win the group. I think that there's still some question marks about them, the unity of their group. There's so many talented individuals, but I still see them blowing up. I see them as the new Holland. The Dutch seem to do it every time they're in a major competition. Something derails them. I've just got a feeling that something might derail this Belgium squad, but I do think that they're capable. England, we've just got to get through. Let's get to the knockout stages, and we'll take our chances from there.
So does that mean you're not making a bold prediction about England?
I'm just saying we're in that. Well, I think we'll qualify for the knockout stages. Don't put me under any pressure.
Just thinking round of 16 quarterfinals, could it even be a semi-final?
I think the way it shapes up, there's definitely the potential for us to be quarter finalists.
Let's see what happens so far on this World Cup Saturday. France 2, Australia 1, Pogba with a winner in a game which featured VAR heavily. Also in Group C, it finished Peru 0, Denmark 1, Eustace Poulsen with a fine finish after an Eriksson pass broke the worst offside trap I've ever seen at this level. Peru horribly missed a first half penalty, and they missed a host of second half chances as well. In Group D, Argentina 1, Iceland 1 was the full-time score in Moscow. Aguero scored a great goal. Iceland equalised through Finn Bogason, and then Messi had a penalty save. Second half about to get underway in Kaliningrad. The players are back out on the pitch. Croatia lead Nigeria 1-0 here on TalkSport. It's Clive Allen and Alan Murray.
Yeah, welcome back. Tough task ahead now for Nigeria, without doubt. Croatia only lost 2 of their 10 games in qualifying for these World Cup finals. They were both away from home as well, against Iceland, who actually won the group, and Turkey. They also, and this is particularly significant, had the best defensive record in those qualifiers. They conceded just 4 goals in 10 games. Because they were runners-up, of course, they had to go into the playoffs, where they comfortably disposed of Greece 4-1 on aggregate. So Nigeria have got to find a way of penetrating a defence that has been pretty good in the build-up to these finals. And it'll be interesting to see, Clive, if, as you suspected, Nigeria just tweak their system a little bit in this second half. It might take us a couple of minutes to decide that, but the way they're lining up at the moment, it looks as though they have indeed, well, I don't know. I was going to say gone three at the back. They've got a left back in position as well.
They have. It looks like they're starting with a back 4, but certainly there's certainly a case for Nigeria to add a midfield player there. Someone who can get a little bit higher up the field, who can press Rakitic and Modric and deny them the time where they're going to cause you all sorts of problems.
Well, the second half is now underway with Croatia in that horrendous strip of theirs, the red and white squares, leading by 1-0, but conceding a throw-in just about 10 yards from their own corner flag, as Domagoj Vida, the Besiktas Turkish-based player, slid in. Before that, he was actually playing here in Russia with Dynamo Kiev. He was an unused substitute in the last World Cup 4 years ago, but starts their opening match here tonight. Now faces the long throw into the Croatian penalty area, but they've dealt with that pretty comfortably. Ball out of play for a throw into Nigeria, midway inside the Croatian half, and the man given the unfortunate own goal, Etibo, keeps possession for Nigeria. Then they play it out to the right to Wilfred Ndidi. Been surprised that we haven't seen more of the Leicester man, but he's helped to earn another throw-in for them as Strinic heads the ball out of play. In fact, it has gone just the other side of the corner flag for an early corner to Nigeria. So they've made a positive start to the second half here. Victor Moses will take the corner. His set pieces have been pretty disappointing so far. This one curled in towards the near post, and it was a real chance there for the new Brighton man, Leon Balogun, who came flying in but headed it wide.
Yeah, he takes that ball, it's coming in across the 6-yard box, and Mandzukic actually gets a good block just to deny him turning it in on goal, and the resultant deflection gives Nigeria another corner.
Moses can try again from the Nigerian right, clips it into the same sort of area, and it's going to be another corner.
And it's Mandzukic again that clears in that 6-yard box.
3 corners in a row. Good start of the half then for Nigeria and the German coach Gernot Rohr. Nigeria, the 4th different African country he's coached, by the way. The referee has seen a bit of pushing and shoving going on, so he's delaying the taking of the corner. It involves Igalo and the Croatian goalkeeper. This time Croatia get it away without conceding a corner. Modric goes in on Victor Moses, who hits the ground and claims a free kick, but the referee, who's from Brazil, says play on. Now he has whistled. Pretty obvious foul this time by Ante Rebic. Victor Moses is still complaining to the assistant about the challenge on him a moment ago, which he felt should have earned a free kick for his side. Nigeria do have a free kick, but it's in their own half rather than the opposition's. Played back by Etibo. And now it goes long. Something they haven't done that much of. The clearance reaches the feet of Victor Moses, midway inside Croatia's half. Coming in field from the Nigerian right flank and finding the feet of Shehu, the right back, who had a rather tortuous and tormented first half. He keeps possession for his team this time, though. And the ball is with the Thibaut inside the centre circle. On it goes to John Obi Mikel. Now Iwobi, the Arsenal man. We didn't see that much of him either in the first half, but then again, you could say that about most of the Nigerian players, apart from Victor Moses, who has possession now and dances his way into the Croatian penalty area, pulls his shot left-footed. He's claiming it flicked off a defender for a corner, but I think the referee disagrees and has given a goal kick.
Well, they sweep the ball to the right-hand side and Moses cuts back in. He drags it back onto his left foot, strikes it through Strinic's legs. He thinks there's a deflection which takes it away for a corner. Referee disagrees, but it's been a much more positive start to the second half from Nigeria.
They made some very positive noises as well before the ball was kicked here. Said they were aiming to reach the semi-finals and create a bit of history, because no African team has ever got further than the quarter-finals in previous World Cups. But those lofty ambitions could be crushed here, because if you lose your first game in these World Cup finals, it's a long uphill battle to get back in contention. It's not impossible, of course. You could win your next two games, but they've got Argentina and Iceland to follow, and that's tough. That's tough.
Well, the nature of the opposition makes it a really tough group right from the outset, so it's so important that you're not defeated, especially when the other two teams have drawn already today.
And they're on the back foot at the moment, Nigeria, as the ball is crossed to the edge of their area. It's Victor Moses who knocks it clear, and a long-range effort by Ivan Rakitic, wide and high.
Well, the first contribution really from Croatia in this second half comes out to Rakitic, long way out, strikes it, and the ball is just 2 yards in front of him, so in the end he's leaning back, lifts it high and wide.
Another one of those who wasn't actually born in Croatia. He was born in Switzerland to Croatian parents. Goal kick goes right up to the halfway line and bounces first time into the Croatian half, where it's cleared by Strinic, the Sampdoria left back, and now they will earn a free kick midway inside Croatian territory. A foul on Ogen Itibu.
But that's positive from Itibu. He brings the ball down. He really is aggressive, running the ball forward. Mandzukic is chasing him from behind, clips his legs, and he draws and wins the foul for his team.
Well, he's done well defensively in the last couple of minutes, heading away those couple of Nigerian corners. Let's see what he can do from this. 5 minutes into the half, Croatia lead Nigeria by 1-0, and Mandzukic has to take up a defensive role again as it's played in by Victor Moses. Better free kick from him this time. Comes back out to the Arsenal man, Iwobi. Iwobi inside the area, gets into a shooting position. His shot is blocked. Croatia still can't get it clear. Igalo goes in strongly. The whistle has gone. The referee thought too strongly. It looked a bit harsh, that, I have to say. The free kick given against Odion Igalo.
Yeah, Igalo jumps, but he's powerful and he's physical in the way that he really throws himself at the ball. His intent is to head it, but he knocks Strinic to the ground. Referee deems really that he's over-aggressive in the way that he attacks that loose ball.
I must say, I didn't think he did much wrong there, as Croatia counter-attack down their right-hand side with their overlapping fullback Vrsaljko. He has to play the ball back, though, towards the halfway line to enable Croatia to keep possession. Haven't seen much of Modric on the ball in the early stages of this second half, but then again it's Nigeria who had most of the possession, unlike the first half. Now Croatia come forward. Mandzukic struggling to keep possession, and he's lost the ball more than once, it has to be said, so far. I know he had a key role to play in the goal, but other than that, Clive, he's been a bit disappointing so far, the Juventus man.
Yeah, he's been disappointing in the way that he's held the ball up, the way that he's linked the play, because he's the target man. He's the one that they want to go to and play off of. He's broke down off of him too often.
He's averaged about 12 goals a season in his 3 campaigns in Serie A.
But normally he plays off the left-hand side for Alan, for the Juventus. He comes from a wider position. He scores a lot of his goals at the back post when deliveries come from the right-hand side. He's playing more central tonight, and he is a target man that they need for him to hold the ball and really be the link player that they can play to and play off of.
Scored 2 goals against Cameroon in the last World Cup in Brazil 4 years ago. Now, here come Nigeria, midway inside Croatia's half, with John Obi Miguel, the former Chelsea man, in possession. Sweeps it out to the right-hand side to the current Chelsea man, Victor Moses, right edge of the box. And Nigeria are giving Croatia more problems in the opening stages of this second half than at any time in the first 45 minutes. They've got a throw in near the corner flag.
And the big difference is that Victor Moses all of a sudden is asking questions of Strinic defensively.
Well, they've got another corner. That's what, 4-5 corners already, only 8 minutes into the second half.
And it's all come down this right-hand side where Moses is attacking Strinic. He's trying to get crosses in. He's had blocked attempts going out for corners. The pressure's building. They're asking questions of Croatia defensively.
Moses takes the yet another corner, hits it a little too deep this time, but they'll keep possession with Iwobi knocking it back into the penalty area, and Croatia breathe a sigh of relief there as the ball is cleared. A really dangerous ball in, but Nigeria are doing in the early stages of this second half what Croatia did to them in the early stages of the first.
And Alan, it was Mandzukic again. That ball delivered from Iwobi. He's the one rising in the heart of that Croatia defence to head away, doing a really good defensive job for his team.
Yeah, he might not have held on to the ball very long in the opposition half, but as you say, he has been a rock for those set pieces at the back. Now Modric wins the ball back brilliantly here for Croatia and makes real progress towards the Nigerian penalty box. The ball is switched to the right to Perisic. Perisic with the cross. Oh, what an opportunity for Rebic, who hits it wide from inside the 6-yard box.
That's a great chance, and it really is well constructed because the ball pops off of Modric and it's a first time pass out to Perisic on the left hand side from Rakitic. Brilliant the way he side foots it out to him. One touch cross, chance for Rebic, just got to hit the target. He comes onto the volley, side foots it, but side foots it over the crossbar. Anything on target, that should be in the back of the net.
Disappointment for Rebic, who was sent off on his last appearance in the World Cup finals back in 2014 in the match against Mexico. 10 minutes into the second half, you're listening to TalkSport's live coverage from Kaliningrad of Croatia 1, Nigeria 0. A diving header by Mandzukic, inadvertently turned into his own net by a new Stoke City signing Etibu in the first half. But here come Nigeria again, really asking questions of Croatia now in the early moments of the second half. But disappointingly for Victor Moses, who's been prominent in asking those questions, the ball has gone out for a goal kick. Good start to the second half, though, by the Nigerians, Clyde.
Yeah, it's positive. I'm sure that Gunnar Rohr has had a word with them. He wants them to get more bodies higher up the field, more pressure, and not allow certainly Modric and Rakitic to dominate the tempo of the game. And you can see it from here. Subasic taking this goal kick, normally would be rolling that ball out to Rakitic, who's on the edge of the 18-yard box, but immediately Obi Mikel's come forward and not allowing him to do it, making him kick it long.
Next game for Nigeria, Iceland in Volgograd on June the 22nd. Their final game against their nemesis Argentina in St. Petersburg. They met them 4 times before in the finals and lost every one. Well, you've got to start beating them sometime. Maybe that'll be it, but that's a long way away. They've got to try and get back into this game first, as the ball is played through towards their penalty area, and Rebic made ground for Croatia, but it was an easy interception for goalkeeper Uzohu. So Nigeria in possession on the edge of their own penalty box. The ball with Trustikong, and he gives it back to the young goalkeeper again. He knocks it upfield, not very accurately. So Croatia win it back, and that means that Nigeria have had to concede a throw-in with a clearance going out just about 10 yards inside their own half on the Croatian right. Now they build from that throw-in with Rakitic, but he's lost out. Victor Moses picks up the loose ball and crosses the halfway line. He's done really well again here, Moses. He's got 3 in the middle to try and pick out, and he made a total mess of it and just crossed it straight into the hands of Subasic, the goalkeeper.
He does really well. He attacks, skips past 2 challenges, gets himself into a crossing position, and then it's aimless. It's just lofted into the 6-yard box. Subasic comfortably gathers it. Really positive from Moses, but the execution at the end, the delivery, wasn't of the quality that was needed.
But the Chelsea man is looking really hot at the moment here. He's led most of the Nigerian attacks in the opening stages of this second half, and Croatia are struggling to cope with him.
And they haven't had possession of the ball, have they, Alan, in the way that they did. They haven't controlled the tempo of this second half in the way that they did the first period.
Nowhere near. Nigeria are looking good at the moment. A bit like Wembley all over again, where they were overpowered in the first half and then really came into it in the second. They've earned themselves a free kick right on the halfway line. A foul by Modric, given by the Brazilian referee, and it looks as though they're going to make a change early on in the second half here, Croatia. They've got a substitute ready. We'll hang on to tell you who that is when they've made their mind up who's coming off, as Itibu keeps them moving forward. And now the ball is with Ndidi, who plays it out to the left flank to Idowu. His cross into the middle is a good one. Oh, it was a glancing header, and really he might have got a bit more on that one. I think it was Igalo who made the final attempt on goal.
Well, it's from the left-hand side, whipped in, right-footed, curling towards the goal. Igalo rises, he's trying to get direction. In the end, it just bounces comfortably straight into the hands of Subasic in that Croatia goal.
And in the context of this game, you have to put that one down as a reasonable opportunity. The ball has gone out of play, far side of the field, and that will enable Croatia to make their change. Brozovic is the man who's coming off, and Kramaric is the man who is going off. Interesting change. Brozovic, the Inter Milan midfielder. His club side finished 4th in Serie A in Italy to qualify for the Champions League next season. And just acknowledging the cheers of the Croatian fans. Kramaric, Kramaric, was right, first time, as he comes off the field. And a pretty unhappy handshake with his coach, Zlatko Dalic. Hour gone here in Kaliningrad. Croatia lead Nigeria by 1-0. But Nigeria have come back strongly into the game in this second half, and Brozovic gets a touch straight away for Croatia, having just come off the bench. And that means they can keep moving forward. The long ball out to the right-hand side, where Rebic dances his way into the penalty area. A dangerous cross. Victor Moses back to defend. Croatia pick up the second ball with Strinic, their left back. And he's in possession, 10 yards outside the Nigerian penalty area. The ball played back to Brozovic again.
I think that change is an interesting one. Brozovic will come in alongside Rakitic. That allows Modric just to go a little bit further forward. It's a tactic that Dalic has used before, where Modric is used in a more advanced position. They wanted him to get in possession of the ball higher up the field and nearer to Mandzukic.
And a change now also being made by Nigeria. The Arsenal man Alex Iwobi is about to be replaced by Ahmed Musa, the Leicester City player who's been on loan here in Russia last season to CSKA Moscow. He scored a couple of goals against Argentina in the last World Cup finals. Leicester paid a lot of money. I think it was a club record at the time to sign him, something around a reported fee of 16 million.
Yeah, it's been a quiet night for Iwobi. The introduction of Musa certainly adds pace to that front line.
Referees having to intervene here. There's a bit of an argument about the taking of a free kick to Croatia, halfway inside Nigeria's half.
Just taking their time already. Just trying to slow it down. I think just trying to take the sting out of the start that Nigeria have offered at the beginning of this second half.
It's halfway inside Nigeria's half and only a couple of yards in from the Croatian left touchline. It's Modric who swings it in. That's a great ball. Great ball. It's earned them a corner. Much better set piece than most of those that Nigeria have managed so far.
Just quality delivery. The ball from the left-hand side, swinging in with a right foot delivery in towards the centre of that goal, just dipping in behind that Nigeria rear guard. They have to get a touch. They have to make sure that they get a touch to clear their lines. It's headed over the crossbar.
Croatia's fourth corner. Nigeria have had one more than that. Now can Mandzukic get his head on the ball again, this time at the right end of the field. It comes towards him, and he did indeed, but heads it wide. Goal kick.
Yeah, it's just slightly behind him. It's delivered to the penalty spot region. He's just having to step back to try to direct it back towards that far post. Can't get any power or direction.
So Nigeria have possession again from the goal kick. And he hasn't been troubled that often, really. Francis Uzohu, the 19-year-old, who didn't even figure in the qualifiers for Nigeria. It has been a bit of a problem position for them, goalkeeper. And his distribution is not the finest. This goal kick has gone straight back to Croatia, who attack with Vrsaljko down the right-hand side. Vrsaljko and also Rebic linking and making a bit of a mess of things in the end. And it took a foul, I think, to halt Nigeria. And a quickly taken free kick. The ball just outside their penalty area. And headed clear by Abdul Shihu. But it's going to be a throw-in to Croatia. It's almost level with the 18-yard line.
But a tactical change from Dalic, the Croatian coach, has certainly helped them. They've all of a sudden just as started to re-establish themselves and control of this game, with Modric in that further forward position, Rakitic and Brozovic just holding in that midfield position.
Rebic doing well, finds Modric. Modric can't keep possession this time though, furiously chasing back to see if he can regain possession, and then Croatia concede a free kick for a foul on Etibo. Brozovic, the substitute, the guilty man there, just took his ankles out. Clear free kick given by the Brazilian referee. We've had 64 minutes played here in Kaliningrad, and it is Croatia who lead Nigeria by 1-0. It was an own goal by Etibo, who signed earlier in the week for Stoke City. An unfortunate own goal, in fairness, one that he knew very little about. Mandzukic with a diving header following a Luka Modric corner, and the ball just hit him on the way in. Nigeria have made a very good start to their second half, but as yet they haven't really troubled Subasic in the Croatian goal. Perhaps they will now, as Victor Moses, their main man so far in this game, attacks again down the right-hand side, gets himself into the penalty area, goes down. Never a penalty, goal kick.
Yeah, referee absolutely right. He's not going to go to VAR to have a look at that. Moses coming in off the left-hand side, plays a 1-2 with Obi Mikel, gets on the inside of Strinic, but in the end he throws himself to the ground as the ball is rolling away from him. He's not going to get possession of that ball, 2 yards in front of him, and then as they come together, he throws himself to the ground. Brazilian referee waves it away.
But the contrast in the way these halves have gone, marked here. Moses in possession again, halfway inside Croatian territory, and it's all Nigeria at the moment. A complete about turn. It's like that England friendly all over again.
But they've come out on the front foot, they've got bodies higher up the field, they've got the ball to Moses at every opportunity. He's made Strinic, the left back, play in the left back position. He's asked questions of him defensively.
At the moment you'd fancy them to get an equaliser, get level again here, but they've given the ball away now midway inside Croatia's half. Luka Modric has it for them, but they're hassling, they're pressing higher up the field than they did in the first half. Modric coming out for Croatia, but he's given the ball away uncharacteristically. Ahmed Musa, the Nigerian substitute, regains possession for them.
That's a hallmark of Luka Modric. You see his frustration when he gives that ball away needlessly, just trying to ease it off the outside of his right boot to the right winger. He gives it away and he really is frustrated with himself.
But the possession is all Nigeria's at the moment. The green-shirted Nigerians attacking again and trying to get the ball out to Victor Moses again. Not successful this time because Strinic heads it clear, and Rakitic plays it forward to Modric on the halfway line. The ball is back with the right back for Vrsaljko. A wild challenge by John Obi Mikel there on Rakitic, and the referee, who's been pretty lenient in terms of cards, just the one so far. That was for Rakitic in the first half, just towards a free kick this time. No further punishment. The ball is with Rakitic.
I think Sandro Ricci, the Brazilian referee, has refereed it well. The one challenge, which was naughty, which was high on the ankle, certainly warranted the yellow card, but he's picked up on the infringements, but he certainly hasn't been waving yellow cards.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. And in fact, I think the refereeing standards overall early on are very promising, very encouraging.
And what about VAR?
That's another programme altogether.
I thought you might say that.
Personally, nail my colours to the mast, not a fan. But there you go. That debate will go on for a long, long, long time yet, I'm sure.
I think the one thing we have to say is that the majority of the decisions that they've used with VAR, they've got right.
Yeah, majority. OK, here they come again. The ball is with Perisic, just outside the Nigerian penalty area. Good defending, though. He has got a corner out of it, but there's no way he was going to get round Abdul Shehu here.
Yeah, Shehu does well because Perisic just gets himself into the corner of the 18-yard box, going towards the byline. Shehu has to make sure the challenge is good. He gets across, physical presence, and then toes the ball away for the corner, denying Perisic the chance to cross.
Well, it was a corner, remember, in the first half that led to Croatia's goal, and you feel at this stage of the game that if they were to get a second goal...
Poor defending, referee has a clear view of it, immediately points to the spot.
Well, so often, certainly in the English Premier League, penalties are not awarded for incidents like that, and a lot of people say they should be. This time the Brazilian referee has pointed to the spot, and what a wonderful opportunity now as John Obi Mikel is yellow carded. What a wonderful opportunity now for Croatia to get that second.